here with us for the CES 2019 press conference. I think before everything, Happy New Year. New Year, I think new Qualcomm logo, new announcements we have to make today, and a lot of very new perspective on things that are happening at Qualcomm. So thank you very much. I will just start this by framing what we want to talk today in CES. Maybe a little bit of a recap. Last year, in late 17, we had our announcements about all of our initiatives in 5G back in our Hong Kong event that we talk everything we're doing in 5G. Then, a couple months later, right close to the end of the year in Hawaii, we announced Snapdragon 845 and the iOS connected PC. And in CES, we want to spend time talking to you about all the things we're doing that are new. And I will start this press conference taking a minute to talk about this press. The same part where I have to show this. So, you can see a copy of our safe harbor statement on our website. I got it. So I will start with this. I actually want to recap and spend a little time outlining what we have been doing in Qualcomm and in our semiconductor business when we think about our strategy. We have been investing in two areas. One is what you would expect us to do in mobile. And we see a lot of important transitions that is very likely to change how we think about the mobile industry today. And one of it is 5G. And that is creating a whole new opportunity for Qualcomm as we continue to transition new use cases and new devices and hopefully a new upgrade as we go from the timing between Gs to 5G. But the most important thing is we have been spending time over the past 2 years to diversify our company. And we have been investing in new business with one thing in common, which is what are the new industries that are being disrupted or are being basically changed and modified by the large scale of mobile technology. And by doing this, we'll be able to, with Qualcomm, win some of the new devices that are actually reshaping that entire industry and category. And what we're going to do at our press conference is show the progress we made, and we're going to have some exciting announcements. And I want to just have one more time explain how we think about the strategy that we've been out for the past 2 years building in QCT. For very large companies, when you want to go into a new industry, a new business, one of the obvious challenges is how can you develop the competence and how can you get there faster? So when we look at this strategy, it's very easy to understand what we're doing. In the mobile space, we are faster moving towards new technology, new use cases, and actually developing new technology in Qualcomm. Some organically, some through M&A, like we have done in the front-end space. When we look at the new business, then we don't have to take the technology risk. It's about leveraging mobile technology to develop new channels. And as we walk through the press conference today, hopefully we're going to give examples of how we're making that happen. And I will start by showing the expansion we have been able to do for Qualcomm in our semiconductor business. When you think of Snapdragon or you think about QCT, most will think about the SAM of 32 billion, which is our core mobile chipset. That's our MSM, our modem, an associated transceiver and power management. But where we are right now is a completely different story. As we enter the front-end space, we're expanding that SAM from the 32 billion to another 20 billion on the RF front end. And then as we look at those industries we chose, automotive, IoT and security, mobile compute, which we recently announced the iOS connected PC, and networking, that's another 77 billion, service addressable market for QCT, and the data center of 19, so it's a 150 billion opportunity. And that explains also why, as we close on the acquisition of NXP, we can accelerate even further into many of those segments to create growth and diversity by being anchored on this mobile leadership and this mobile, innovation DNA of the company. And where we are right now, in terms of execution of the strategy, it's already a $3 billion when we close our fiscal year back in the end of September. It was a $3 billion revenue completely outside mobile, not including the front end, just on automotive IT security, mobile computing and networking. And that was a 75% growth over fiscal 15, which is the strategy is working. And what we're going to do today, we're going to leverage CES to show some exciting progress and partner announcements that we're making in each one of those areas. And I will go back to the front end as well. And I promise I'll have a surprise for you. So with that, I want to go back to mobile and 5G. And 5G is a great, exciting opportunity because it's going to be a reality sooner than everybody thought. We're going to get 5G into a smartphone as early as 2019. And I'm just going to kind of recount some of the steps that we took until we are right now. There's no question that higher speed, low latency, and ability to support unlimited data plans, that's what the mobile market wants. We worked to accelerate the standard back in early 17. In 16, we have our first Snapdragon X50 announced. The standard got concluded. That was, that was the big Santa Claus gift we received. At the end of 17, 3GPP completed the first release of 5G new radio, and we have spec-compliant announcements of over-the-air tests with both Ericsson, ZTE, and other partners. We released a reference design that you can build a smartphone with 5G technology, and we're now seeing the ecosystem moving aggressively. AT&T, I think a couple weeks ago, announced 12 markets with 5G new radio in mobile by the end of 18. Verizon has been on that trajectory. China Mobile, which is very important given the future of mobile and the role of the China ecosystem. And we have the upcoming, I think, Olympics in Korea and Korea announcement. So we're very excited about that. And we're very excited about the new experiences that 5G will bring to devices. One of those experiences, in addition of having very high speed, all cloud connectivity, connected to the cloud 100% of the time. Another one, and one of the guests is going to come to the press conference today, is a company that is very focused on this. And I will probably define as social presence. How social networking and social interactions has been completely transformed by the smartphone. When we get a 5G and you have 1 millisecond latency, you're talking about presence. In augmented reality, virtual reality, all those things will make a difference. In addition of the complete convergence of internet and extranet, as you know, you have unlimited data and virtually unlimited speed, and to be connected with all of the enterprise systems, as if you were in the internet. So all those, and will change also the economics of building networks in the IT space. So we're very excited about the 5G opportunity, and 5G is happening. And with that, I want to talk one more time of a topic that has been part of many of the discussions in wireless, was the complexity of RF. And that comes in the context of the front end. When you think the transition we had as an industry from 3G to 4G, from few bands in 3G, we had a multiplication of frequency bands with 49 different bands today in 4G. As users demanded more speed, we started to have combination of those bands with advanced carrier aggregation. Now we have gigabit LT networks, and in excess of 1,000 different combinations you have to build in the smartphone. When we get to 5G, we're looking in an order of magnitude increase. It's going to be over 10,000 combinations across 5G and 4G, creating both a challenge as well as a big opportunity in the front end. And I believe that's part of the reason that Qualcomm has been investing to have a differentiated solution in their front end. And that is not only a very important growth opportunity for QCT, but exactly a necessity of the industry to make 5G successfully. So with that, I would like to start the announcements we have for today. So the first one, we're announcing a series of front-end design wins. Flagship devices at Google, HTC, LG, and Sony. We are announcing design wins on Qualcomm front-end solution. Many cases are modem to antenna platform. And yes, I expect to get the question later, including our gas PAs and our PA modules into those devices. But we don't stop there. We also have Samsung. And we also have a design win at Samsung devices in 2018. That's the beginning of what we wanted to be a very successful trajectory for front-end business. It's a great opportunity for us to create growth and value to our customers in mobile. And that is going to go all the way as we move into 5G. So in addition to having those design wins that we have now, as we have every single piece of technology in Qualcomm, from the baseband to the antenna, we also are making a preview today of what is going to be a completely new architecture for front-end and wireless. This is the first tunable 5G, 4G multi-mode front-end. And the reason this is so significant, because as we go from 4G to 5G, and you have all those different band combinations, I would like to make a statement that is going to be very difficult for you not to design this as a system-level solution. And that's what Qualcomm semiconductor business is. We're a system company. That's in essence what the Snapdragon platform is. And you have to have the ability to rely on signals from the network and signals from the baseband to configure both the front end by reducing significantly size, the bill of material. And it's the first time that you actually have a smart front end system that you have a controller that is tuning that front end in between 4G and 5G. And I think that's going to be a disruptive solution in the front end space. We're very excited about being able to come to this CES in 2018 and announce our progress in the RF front-end business with many of our long-standing partners, and to be able to show from this starting point where we are going as we change the mobile industry to 5G. So that's one, I think, piece of information we have to share with you. So with that, I'm going to change to a different segment. I talked about the front end, now I'm going to go to the other four segments that has been expanding the SAM of Qualcomm. And one has been the always connected PC that we announced back in Hawaii. We're very pleased today to know that when Microsoft and Qualcomm created this category called the always connected PC, the category was announced in Hawaii with the presence of Microsoft and Qualcomm, many of the PC partners, including AMD. Based on some of the news I saw today, this category has been embraced by the entire PC ecosystem, which is great news. We all want to see an always connected PC with a modern technology. And we're actually changing the landscape in the PC space with all-day battery life, more than one-day battery life, over 20 hours. The message is you don't need to carry your charger in your bag when you take your PC. You don't have to worry about boot time anymore because it doesn't matter. It's always on. It's always connected. And we would like you all to be at 11 a.m. When we have yet another partner for the Always Connected Snapdragon PC, which is going to be the Lenovo announcement tomorrow. We talked about front end, we talked about PC, now we're going to go into networking. And I will take a little bit of time to go over the network announcement because this is one that we're particularly excited about it. And it actually changes how you should think about the home and the networking. So I'll start by saying we have made enormous progress in the industry with our Wi-Fi mesh networks. Wi-Fi self-organizing networks to provide coverage for the whole home at redefined Wi-Fi, and the consumers already made the decision. 40% share now in the United States retail revenue of access point is Wi-Fi mesh. What it started in 17 at single digits is 40% of the revenue in the market right now. Because consumers want Wi-Fi in every corner of the room. It's not about having an access point that you have gigabit speed. It's about having gigabit in every room. And it's because many of the services are being consumed in mobile devices. And by taking that solution that we built, a number one position in access point in retail and enterprise, we're now reshaping the carrier segment. And that's very important. The carrier segment has been not a significant market for Qualcomm because it's been traditionally driven by the incumbents, which is associated with the wireline modem. As the operator now understands that the fixed broadband is not about the wireline modem, it's about providing coverage in the entire home because mobile devices are the one using that data. That allows us to take the Wi-Fi mesh into the home. And we had a very exciting announcement with Bloom. We are into the Bloom device, which is now part. It is integrated into the Xfinity X5 system for whole home coverage in one of the leading operators. And that's starting to change the profile of what an operator networking solution is and create an opportunity for Qualcomm to go take to the carrier segment, which was primarily driven by the wireline incumbents, to make that a solution as similar as we'll be able to do in retail and enterprise. So that's another exciting announcement. It's what I describe as winning the leading device in the new category for expansion and diversification of our business. From networking, we are not stopping at Wi-Fi. As you think about Wi-Fi, in providing coverage in the entire home, that becomes a platform that you can add more capabilities. There is an announcement made by ASUS about a speaker that is also a router. One of the things we have done, partnering with Amazon and Microsoft, we actually have now Alexa voice service and Cortana virtual system adding to the Qualcomm Mesh platform. So you started to add new integrated voice capabilities. As you have coverage everywhere in your home, you started to add capabilities to that, and either the technology that will be based on Qualcomm speakers, we take a system-level approach and try to put that into the router. And then more importantly, you make the router a data collection platform. So if you're an operator, that's the best solution for you to become a hub for the IoT and collect data through the Qualcomm platform for machine learning in the home. So that has been a great opportunity. It's a platform for innovation. It's the Qualcomm system DNA that is going to change how we think about the Wi-Fi, access point business by bringing new technologies into the retail enterprise, but also the carrier system. A couple more new business segments as we go to the announcements. Another one is the automotive space, and I'll give you some data about how well we're doing in automotive. We talk about $3 billion in new markets outside the phone, not including the front end, as we ended the year in 2017. On the automotive alone, we already have over a $3 billion design pipeline. And we've been very focused in three areas: telematics, infotainment, and in-car connectivity. And we have now virtually all global OEM working with Qualcomm. And on 17 alone, we have 25 new design wins. But I'll give you a little bit of new data points and before the announcements we have today. When we think about the car is a great platform for innovation. And going back to the strategy of focusing where we can leverage mobile technology, we started by connecting cars with 2G and 3G. And at the time, somewhat, very attractive, but a finite number of use cases. You can remember like service that are, available like OnStar. You have emergency crash notification diagnostics. Then you start to add, remote lock and lock and stolen vehicle recovery. But 4G changed that with the connected car. And when you think about 4G plus 5G, it's a whole suite of new use cases that virtually creates in the views of an OEM there should be no car that is not a connected car. And the connected car change, how the car maker interact with the car, will change how the consumer data interacts with the car, how entertainment data interacts with the car, how insurance companies interact with the car. Besides that, you have all of the other services inside the car. So it's a great opportunity in telematics. In addition to telematics, is what's happening in infotainment. And that is intuitive to explain what's happening. When cellular starts to boom as a portable device in the early days of 2G, everybody was taking their cell phone when they were behind the wheel. And now we just take for granted that we have a hands-free connection with Bluetooth. Same is happening today because the smartphone is not just for voice. So users are behind the wheel, they're looking at the smartphone. That creates a great opportunity and an understanding for car makers to actually change dramatically how the car UI on the infotainment, the rear seat entertainment, the dashboard is designed. And I'll argue that that's a very democratic feature. You're starting to see now entry-level cars with premium tier infotainment. That's been the power of Snapdragon. We have designs with 12 automakers right now. And on infotainment alone is over $1 billion pipeline for Qualcomm. We've virtually won the majority of every single premium tier infotainment, RFP negotiation 2017 for cars that are going to be in the road, in 2019 and beyond. So it's a very exciting, and with that, I have 3 major announcements to make today. One announcement is we're announcing the partnership with Jaguar Land Rover for infotainment and telematics solutions for their cars. There's one thing about this announcement that is very significant. This is the very first announcement of an infotainment system that is an MSM. The modem is included in the application processor. In that case, so you have an SoC across telematics and the infotainment system. It is also, one that it starts to take into consideration multiple silicon opportunities into a car as you no longer upgrade the infotainment for rear seat entertainment in the dashboard. In addition to this great partnership with Jaguar Land Rover, we also announcing today a partnership with Honda for the 2018 Honda Accord, which is going to be in the road with a Snapdragon automotive platform and 4G telematics. And we're announcing a partnership with BYD for the electrical cars. And that also brings, for the first time in the discussion, for power efficient automotive solutions as the cars go to the process of electrification. We're being partnered with BYD for also the digital cluster in addition of the infotainment. So those are the 3 announcements in the car, and I'm going to go to, closer to, the end of the presentation as we get to some of the new segments. And IoT is one of the greatest, opportunities that we have in the long run, given the size, of the market. And IoT, it is in 17, in over $1 billion of revenue for Qualcomm. And when we look at all the different categories that we are in IoT, it's a very broad market. Wearables, robots and drones, connected camera, industrial, home entertainment, home control and automation, voice and music. We've been very focused on winning the designs that are redefining the category. So I have some examples for you. But what we see that is very exciting about this is through the power of low power processing, multimedia, and connectivity, we actually can redefine that market leveraging all the technology that we have in the mobile space. And taking a few announcements that we have in CES, this one is one that is very significant. When you think about the evolution of voice UI as a natural UI that is going to evolve, in particular with progress in machine learning, and you think about the smart audio platforms, we're announcing today 3 partnerships One with Amazon Alexa, that is going to be part of the Qualcomm smart audio platform. The other one is with Google, for the Google Assistant. And the last one is with Microsoft for Cortana. So you think about the Qualcomm platform now for the smart audio, in a platform that we can actually put in other devices in the home, as I highlighted before in the router. And you add that to the partnership we had announced last year with both Alibaba and Baidu in China for voice UI. You should think about now Qualcomm has the ability in any device that our customers wants to build to have many of those solutions coming in the Qualcomm reference implementation. So you can make every speaker, you can make any home hub device, you can make any router device capable of supporting an assistant and a voice UI solution. And we're very excited to announce this broad partnership with the entire ecosystem on the Qualcomm platforms. And this announcement is one that I'm particularly very excited about. If you remember, we had an acquisition that we made a while ago of CSR. And this business been very successfully integrated into Qualcomm, has been a growth story for us. But more important, we'll be able to take the technology and the R&D from Qualcomm to create very innovative solutions in that space. And we're announcing right now our new Qualcomm low-power Bluetooth audio SoC. And I'll give a perspective to you what is the capability of the device. As the market changed to earpods or earbuds, how you want to call it, our solution offers a 65% reduction in power consumption. So if you want for me to give a use case example, for talk time, if you want to be using that for a phone conversation versus the leading solution today for earpods, the Qualcomm solution gives you 60% more talk time. It's a significant change in power consumption and performance, and we're making this available as a reference design to many of our OEMs, creating actually 3 interesting opportunities for Qualcomm and your partners. One is for all the existing, and well-established, high-quality audio brands to be developing those products and offer to their customers. The second one is for handset OEMs to partner with those companies and have that as an accessory for their smartphone. And the last one is many of our handset OEMs to think about that as an accessory they can put in box for their smartphone device. So we're very excited. That's the best platform in the industry today, bar none. And I think it's something that's, will be very successful with our partners. And the last part of our presentation is how we think about new immersive use cases. And we embrace early augmented reality and virtual reality. We have over 20 devices launched with XR and over 20 in development. And to talk about this, I would like to invite a great partner, is actually my personal friend, another fellow Brazilian, Hugo Barra from Facebook, Oculus.
All right. Thank you, Luciano. First of all, it's let me just go back one slide here. It's great to be back here at CES. My first time with you on stage. Thank you on behalf of the Oculus team for this opportunity. We'll go one slide back, please. All right. So last year at our developer conference, we announced a new virtual reality product called Oculus Go. Oculus Go is our first standalone VR product, which is in this sweet spot between mobile VR, which is VR that you connect to your phone, and PC VR, which is VR that you connect to your computer. So it's this sweet spot in the middle, and it's a new category that we think will bring a lot more people into VR. And we think standalone VR is going to push the limits of innovation in our industry. Oculus Go is going to be the most accessible standalone VR product in the market at an incredibly affordable price. And we have two quick announcements today about Oculus Go. Our first announcement today is that Oculus Go is built on the Qualcomm Snapdragon mobile VR platform. In fact, it's going to ship with a Snapdragon 821 chipset. And we've worked very closely with Qualcomm to make sure that we have the ideal combination of high performance and power efficiency that we think we need for Oculus Go. We've also been working with one of the world's most exciting and innovative consumer electronics companies. And our second announcement today is that Xiaomi is our hardware partner for launching Oculus Go globally. We're really excited about this partnership, and that's not all of it. In fact, today, Oculus and Xiaomi are jointly announcing a new standalone VR product that's designed specifically for the Chinese market. And to talk to you about this exciting new product, I'd like to invite on stage Xiaomi VP Thomas Dang.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas, VP of Xiaomi Ecosystem and head of Mi Lab. Xiaomi's mission is to bring innovation to everyone. We are so excited to bring innovation into our partnership with Oculus and Qualcomm. Today, we are announcing Mi VR Standalone, a new product we built exclusively for the China market. Look like twins, right? It shares the core hardware with Oculus Go. It is based on Xiaomi VR platform and supports the Oculus mobile SDK. So this allows existing Oculus developers to bring their VR content to Chinese users. So we'll have more details to share soon. Thank you, and see you.
Thank you so much, much appreciated. Thank you for the great partnership. Okay, so in summary, there are two things I want to share with you before we go to Q&A. Maybe I'd like to summarize that, we're really working hard to set the pace for other industries, leveraging innovation in mobile. We're well positioned to be, supporting media partners and lead a transition of the industry from a very successful 4G industry to an upcoming 5G. And we are going to continue to be extending mobile technology in the largest scale ever of the consumer electronics industry, which is mobile, into other industries to create innovation in other industry opportunities for our customers and growth and diversification opportunities for Qualcomm. And that's why I like to summarize it. With the CES, we're happy to make more substantial, progress and announcements in the automotive, the IoT, the mobile computer space, networking, and the front end and mobile. And we're looking forward for that to be a very successful business for Qualcomm. I have one more thing to say before we will go to the Q&A. I'd like to ask you to please join us we have a very important upcoming event later this month in China with many of our partners of the China ecosystem. The China mobile ecosystem is a very vibrant mobile ecosystem. It could represent, you know, a very interesting changing dynamics as many of the Chinese players become global players. And we have a number of exciting announcements that we're going to make at the end of the month in a similar event in China. And I would like you, you know, to please stay tuned with Qualcomm and join us to those announcements. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to go take questions now in the Q&A. Thank you. I believe we have time for about 4 questions.
Hi, Cristiano. Ian from Anantech.
Oh, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Last year, we were told that for VR to take off, especially with Qualcomm, the mobile platform, that for AAA titles and AAA movies and lots of content creation consumption, we need 100 million devices in the ecosystem to make it worthwhile to put in the money. Obviously, the relationship with Oculus Go is one stage of that. How is that going to change Qualcomm through 2018, 2019, and how can you make 100 million a reality?
Okay. Maybe I'll answer a question with a provocative statement, which is, yes, I understand it's not a fair comparison, but remember, the very first cellular devices, they're like big transportable devices, and very different than, you know, what we got today, what we saw in the mobile revolution. So I think what you saw today, those devices are becoming smaller, they're becoming more affordable. The technology is actually creating now very acceptable levels of performance at, you know, competitive price points. You see companies like, you know, Facebook, Oculus focusing and generating scale by partnering with Xiaomi for global expansion. And I think I would not bet against the scale of mobile. It's difficult to make a prediction how we're going to get to 100 million devices. But I will argue that even if you get a transition from 4G to 5G, and all of a sudden you have mature 5G networks with much higher bandwidth, much lower latency, I think the experiences are going to be much more compelling. You're going to have a modification, as I mentioned, of social interactions with social presence. And I think that could be a compelling experience. Look, we believe in XR. We believe that, you know, it's going to fundamentally change. We understand there are obstacles, but I think what we see is a trajectory, and we want to, you know, keep marching down the cost and the scale until we get there. Thank you.
Hi, Cristiano. It's Mike Walkley with Canaccord Genuity.
I have lights on my face. I can see you. Okay. Hi, Mike.
Just want to ask your view of 5G rollout. Just how do you see it progressing, maybe relative to a 4G rollout? And building on that, when 4G rolled out, Qualcomm really enabled it, had such strong share. Maybe discuss how you see Qualcomm's place in rolling out 5G in a competitive environment.
Very good. Thank you for your question. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to spend a little bit of time on this question because it touches a number of areas. First of all, how are we seeing the 5G rollout? I think now the industry is getting more clarity. 5G is not about millimeter wave, it's not about sub-6, it's about both. It's going to be about refarming of existing spectrum as well. And I think you see now operators across the globe, United States, Europe, you know, you'd expect Australia, you know, Japan, China, Korea, all making plans to have deployments, you know, as early as, you know, late 18, beginning of 19, to the second half of 19, building a scale. And we see 2 types of deployments. We see operators that already have sub-6, basically looking into the existing macro cells and deploying a sub-6 base station. We also see operators relying on millimeter wave, create a more dense network. One data point, which is very interesting, with real operator data, as some of this discussion matures. For example, using the United States as an example, the market of Chicago, just on the existing sites, when you deploy millimeter wave, the coverage reliability was about 70%, which is much better than people thought. That takes a lot of the the traffic, leaving some of the lower frequencies for indoor. And in 5G, unlike other technologies, that's another important distinction. You don't need to have ubiquitous coverage because the fast switching attributes, you can go and rely on the gigabit LTE. So the answer to your question, deployments are happening the following way. Operators moving to gigabit LTE, you see that everywhere. We have over 40 operators because that's the foundation. That is going to be to a 5G network with GSM. You know, 2G for voice was in the early days of 3G and 4G. That's gigabit LTE. And then on top of that, you have sub-6 and millimeter wave. Now, to your question about the ramp. One thing that is giving us a lot of excitement about 5G is not only the demand for unlimited data and faster speeds and operators trying to get to a lower cost point on the cost per bit, but we saw a trajectory that has been like this of increasing bill of materials with more memory content, like flash. We have phones going from 64 to 128 to 256 and beyond. Once you have 5G and you have coverage, many of those OEMs are now realizing you don't need that much memory because you're always connecting the cloud. Certain services, you just rely on cloud connectivity because of the lower latency and high speed. So as you have the additional cost of the bands and the technology on the 5G, you may have a reduction in memory. And we're looking at very interesting, economics that indicate that we're going to have a very successful transition. From a competitive standpoint, look, we always believe that for you to be a leader in the new generation technology, you have to be a leader in all of the preceding technologies because it's not about checking the box on the standard, it's about having a multimodal solution that is scaled. That's why instead of talking about the baseband that we announced in 2016, and we already had commercial, silicon that we're doing standard compliant over the air. We're talking about a tunable front end. We're talking about how to get gigabit LTE, how to get all those things. And I believe this system level approach will continue to give Qualcomm a differentiated position. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, Dean Takahashi from VentureBeat. I wondered how concerned you are about the Spectre and meltdown bugs and whether it's going to cause you some delays or not.
I expect to get that question. Look, I think there's a number of information out from the Android ecosystem, from Google, from ARM. There are a couple things that are unique about the mobile ecosystem. I think that's why, actually, we talk sometimes, we refer back to mobile behavior. In mobile behavior, most users download software from an app store. It's kind of different. So I think you have to have a malware installed in your device. And then, on top of that, when you look at what the impact that you had on Android and ARM, and we had patches that got actually released as early as December. Some of the OEMs. I think Android has, Google has been very proactive, working with us and with ARM on the availability of the solutions. And I think, it is not the same level of concern. And specifically, when we look of the fix that are available, particularly when you get to, the memory mapping, access to memory, I think the mobile ecosystem probably has the benefit that there's negligible to non-performance impact. So it is not an area of concern for us and for the mobile ecosystem right now. You're telling me I have time for one more question. I think he's raising the hand for a while. Can somebody give him a microphone? Yeah, you.
This is related to your last question regarding this Snapdragon 845 and this SPU technology, which I think more people would like to know more about. Maybe you could address it here because it's related to connectivity as well as security.
Yes, I think maybe if I refer back to our Snapdragon Tech Summit on the 845, we announced a new capability of the Snapdragon platform, the SPU, for security. What I'm going to talk about the SPU is we're looking at security from a holistic manner, and I'll give a little bit of the background. Every single industry today, you can probably find or have a hard time finding a single industry that cannot touch by a smartphone. Whether it's the customer interactions, B2B, a smartphone is somewhere in the know. If you secure the smartphone, you actually can avoid a lot of duplication of security. So the principle behind the SPU is actually is to have a comprehensive system level security. They range it from the ability to store secure data. For example, you have multiple interactions within the platform. They collect biometric data, for fingerprint reader, from camera, etc. How you actually can extract some of those informations and secure that in a secure area. So that's a vault element of the solution. Also, the ability to have a secure execution environment, the ability to have an ability to build, other security solutions on top. So it's SPU is about taking security as a platform and try to have a comprehensive solution that touches many aspects. So you can think about how can the ecosystem rely on the SPU and actually have that as a platform that they can build on top. That's where we innovated with the 845, and you should expect that in the future platforms on the Snapdragon family.